Welcome, welcome. It is Monday night, and that means that it is time for Let's Talk About. And look, no Kim. She's coming back from Sydney, down there with Tegan for the state swimming competition. So it's me, but the good news is we've also got the lovely Donne Cuzzola coming to us all the way from Western Australia. So welcome, Donne.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday Night Live. And a big shout out to Kim and the girls who are on their way traveling. And thank you, Jeremy, for having me on.
That's right. Now, before we begin, because we're talking bath bombs, I just wanted to ask you a question, Donne. What is it that's got you so excited about the whole DIY thing? Because as far as I can see, you take DIY to a whole another level, which is a great level. So what inspired you to get into that?
Well, I think firstly, as a mum of twin girls, the main thing that I started with the beginning of my creativity, was knowing what they are soaking in a bath. As a beauty therapist, I know, that the skin is the largest organ, and hence everything that we bathe in and clean our bathtubs gets absorbed in through the skin. And so, it then started, lots of things started to prompt me. We started hearing stories of 1-year-olds getting urinary tract infections and lots of skin issues and all those. And that was because of the toxic bath products out there. And so hence I started I love baths. I traveled to South Africa 5 years ago, and I had like 9 baths in 2 days because I absolutely love baths myself. And I wanted to create a fun atmosphere in the bath so that the kids they could still enjoy bath time, but without all the nasties. And so I started creating with bath bombs, and it sort of just kept on snowballing. And it allowed my creativity to get, and be able to educate people. You are what you eat, really. So, it snowballed from there. And hence I came up with all these different ideas of to make bath time fun.
Now, I've seen some pretty spectacular bath bombs from you in the past, and it's not just the bath bomb itself, but it's all the wrapping, and you make it look beautiful. So what have you got for us today? What are you going to do?
So tonight I'm just going to teach you a basic bath bomb, okay? It is, and then you can start creating from there. But the thing is getting the base right, and then you get creative, okay? So, and I'm also going to teach you some do's and some don'ts, or in other words, some of my failures, so that you don't have those failures as well. So let's get started. So there's a couple of base ingredients that you need. I use the same formula for toilet bombs as well, which are fabulous for cleaning the toilet. And they're done really simple as well. But tonight we're going to do the bath bombs. And so basically your main ingredients that you need is citric acid. And citric acid actually is just a fruit acid. So it's a crystallized fruit acid that comes from citrus. And hence it gives you that fizz and that cleaning effect on the bath and for yourselves as well. We then have bicarb soda. And so my ratio that I use is 2 to 1. So you would use 2 cups of bicarb soda to 1 cup of citric acid. Now, there's some few extras that you can add to that. One, for those that don't know, bicarb soda is great in balancing the pH in the water and on our skin. So hence it has a really good effect on our skin. Especially when our skin's very acid, you'll find it's very hot and it gets a lot red all the time. So that's why we use bicarb soda. Now, there's lots of recipes out there, and you can differ those, but once you master the main recipe, I want to teach you tonight the technique, how they feel, what they're meant to feel like. You can add, you'll see other recipes that ask for corn flour, which is fantastic. I personally don't use corn flour. The only reason why you would add corn flour is it slows down the fizz. However, when I get in a bath, I like them to go fast. And so, you know, hence I add clays to mine and all those different, but tonight we're just going to do the base recipe. So let's get started. So what you'll need is 2 cups of bicarb, which I'm just going to pop in, and 1 cup of citric acid. So, right, now I get my bicarb and citric acid in bulk, and I want you to do the same, because if you were to buy a citric acid from the supermarket, you only get a small container. Now, what you want to do is mix this. I'm just checking if my assistant, can they see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. So what you can do, mix them all up together. I want you to get all the lumps out of it. You can blitz it in a Thermomix as well, just for about, 5 seconds, and that will really mix it up nicely. So you basically just put that together. Now, the next thing you have to think about is, what do you want your bath bomb to do? So do you want it to have a calming effect? So what essential oils that you want to use in it? So say, for example, if you just want to do a base recipe, you could do just lavender. Now, I use between 20 and 40 drops of oils, okay? Now, if you're doing them for the children at a very young age, I want you to at least halve that amount of oil. So only put like 10 drops in there, okay? Now, I want you to remember, don't use oils that are hot, okay? I don't want anyone soaking in perhaps some oregano or some wintergreen or anything like that. However, you can use those sort of oils, tea trees and peppermints and those, if you're making foot fizzies, okay? So, stick with your basics to start with and then start experimenting. You'll get to know what you like. I put lots of recipes up so you can go from there. So basically you have your base. So what you want to do is think of what oils you want to use, what you're going to use it for, and think about the oils that you're going to use. Next, you're going to think about what shape you want, okay? Now, I've got a variety of different shapes, okay? So you can do your particular base bath bomb, which I just use ice cube trays, or little cubes like these, or you can get the stainless steel ones. You can do like a half sphere. You can do some Easter egg ones if you want to. So I just got those from last year. Thought they'd be good with Easter coming up. You can do beautiful big blocks. You can do some gorgeous love hearts. So these are all silicone-based ones, and they're much easier to get out. You can do some squares, some cubes, and you can do some roses. There's lots of, I do icy poles, I just experiment. There's no right and wrong. All you have to do is make the decision. That's the hardest part. Then what you want to do is, are you going to colour those, or are you going to use like rock salts as a topper? You can use things like roses, lavender, any of the teas. I put teas in all my bath bombs because I love that teas are antioxidant, green tea, very good for the body, lots of different things. So that's just a little example of what it looks like. So you can either put them through the mixture, or you can put them on the top, which you would just put already in the base, okay? You can also colour Epsom salts to make it using mica or food colouring, and you can do that as the base as well. You've probably seen me do some of those. So you can just colour it. I've done this in white and pink and gold, so you could sprinkle that over the base of it as well. And I know there's so many decisions. I actually use icing sugar, which are cupcake toppers, because they just dissolve in the bath, and they are really fun. So they're sprinkles. Don't let the kids eat them. Just let them watch them dissolve. And I use things like the little cake toppers, which are like little llamas, soccer balls. Oh my God, anything that you like. Okay, right. So let's get back to this. So you've got your base mixture. Then what you're going to do is you need the thing is that the citric acid is what causes the fizz. So when it is mixed with water, it activates very quickly. So you have to be careful when doing these. Now, all you need is a little bit of water, okay? I love the Thieves spray bottles because it's got a really good spritzer top on it. So what you want to do is disperse it really gently, okay? Then you pop some V6 oil in there, okay? You can use coconut oil, you can use olive oil, you can use any of the oils, but it's great to put a little bit of carrier oil in there. And then when you're making lots and lots of bath bombs like I do, I now just put my essential oil straight into my mix so that I don't have to keep changing the little bottle. So that's just a little tip as well. So basically I'm going to make some lavender ones. I'm going to put 40 drops of lavender, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you know I can't talk at the same time. So I'm just going to just sprinkle that in there. Remember, if your first time, start low and slow if you're doing them for the kids. That's around 40. All right. Now, this is the main part. I'm actually going to put a bit of orange in it because orange and lavender is actually beautiful for nighttime. We used to think that citrus was only good for during the day, but it's actually really good to calm the mind at nighttime. All right. So you can see that. And then what we're going to do is I've got some water in there, so just some distilled water. Try not to use tap water when you're making beauty products. Pop him on there, and then what you're going to do, see how that does a nice even film? Mix and press. Now, this is a part, if they're too wet, they start to grow and it looks like a loaf of bread, okay? Now, if they're too dry, they will crumble, all right? What you need to do is get the perfect space. So can you see that? It's still too dry. You want it so it's like kinetic sand, or it's like sand when you go down the beach. And what happens is that will hold shape. It's still too dry. So this is the part that is slow. However, this will determine how well your bath bombs turn out. Trust me, my husband's had to cable tie some of them because they kept growing, because I made coffee in them, and because it's got moisture in there, they grew. So you can see they're nearly ready. Now, when I say it holds a shape, can you see that? It's like a bit of ice, all right? Then you know they are ready, all right? So just mix that up. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some love heart ones because today is Women's International Day, and I'm going to put some beautiful rose petals or rose buds. So I get all my teas from like the Tea Hut, and you know, any of the diffusional. She has some amazing stuff back. You can put them in the base. Whoops. And then if you want to, you can pop some. I love using rock salt because the salt's got lots of minerals in there, so it helps disperse in the bathtub. All right, so we're just going to put some of that in the base. Now, make sure when you do this, get yourself a tray. So I've got lots of these trays that I get from the fruit and veggie. They're perfect because they do get messy when you're doing it, and it causes all sorts of problems. And you'll end up with citric acid everywhere. And so basically you just grab that, you dump in there. Okay, whoops, I'm making lots of mess. And you gently pack them in, okay, like that. And then you let them dry for 24 hours. If it's winter, probably do the 2 days. But in summer, you could do the 1 day, because if you're impatient like me and they're not dried properly, they won't be in that perfect, you know, they'll start to oxidize on the surface and they start to go bumpy and those sorts of things. So there you go. That is how simple it is to make a bath bombs. If you're doing these, let me show you. You can pop a couple of beautiful rosebuds there. So these are very professionally made. And what you do is you pack it in just like that, one side, and then you turn him around and pack it on the outside. Yeah. And then you close it together like that. I haven't made bath bombs for a few weeks. I'm having withdrawals. All right. And then you can see how cute are they, nicely packed up. It's got the rosebud in there, plus a piece of my head. And there you go. You just put them all on your tray, pop them out somewhere, not directly in the sun. You can put them in the laundry, or you can pop them out in the patio, and you just let them dry. There you go, Jeremy.
That's awesome, Danae. Now, I had 2 quick questions for you.
Yeah.
What was the actual molds? Did you find them in the supermarket? Whereabouts did you get them?
Yes, so we get these like from Big W, in the kitchen, anywhere you can buy ice cube trays. Kmart sell them. Online, you can go to Diffusional. She has some beautiful ones. But I just pick up the cheapest of cheap. Just in any ice cube trays. You can colour and you can layer different ones. They look fantastic. You can put food colouring into here. You can split the mixture. If you want me to show you quickly, you just split the mixture in half. Let me show you. Yeah. Put a couple of drops of your food colouring. Now, I always buy the natural food colourings. Don't ever put turmeric in there. Let me tell you, not even the thieves can get the turmeric out of your bath. All right, so I'll put a drop of green in here. I also have the hops one, which is more natural based. So you can just put that in here, and then you'll have a beautiful, once you wet it a bit more, you'll have a nice green effect in there. And then you can do them layered, and once they're wet. So you can see you don't need much, right? I've had girls put way too much food colouring in and come out looking like Shrek or a Smurf, and I don't want that happening. So, less is more, okay? So you just colour it like that, and then you could just, I'll do one of those. You could just layer it, so you can put something in the bottom, then you could do half like that, and then you could have some. And what happens is when it fizzes in the bath, it's like this beautiful spiral of colour that just goes through, and it looks fantastic. But like I said, don't put too much in there, okay?
That looks awesome. And the other question I had is, when they're dry, you need to store them in what do you store them in to stop them from just slowly going off? Because they will if you don't seal them up, won't they?
Yes. So I like to use glass jars with a seal on there.
Yeah.
The same as when I'm using in the laundry. Bella, do you want to just run into the bathroom? I've got a bath, just a glass container from Kmart that has soak on there and wash. And it's just a glass jar. They're $7. It's got a black top on it, but it's got a seal on there. And I actually put all my the bath bombs that didn't make it. Don't ever throw them out because they're fantastic. And if they fall apart, just use it as bath scoops. So I just get these from Kmart for $7. And you can see, sorry, I couldn't find any of my bath bombs because they were all thin, but just to show you, these are some that, didn't make the cut. But yeah, just all the things that I was experimenting with, little spearmints. But yeah, I find these are fantastic, Jeremy, to store your bath bombs in.
Awesome. They make such good gifts too, don't they?
They certainly do, and they're made with love. You know exactly what goes in there. There's no nasties in there. Just get creative, experiment. They're just absolutely beautiful. The kids have so much fun making them. You can put Valor and Orange and Piss and Calming, and oh my gosh, it is endless what you can do.
Yeah, I was going to say stress away is a beauty, and then you feel like you're having a holiday.
Absolutely. Stress away is beautiful.
Yeah. Danae, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your experience with us. And as you said, start simple. Once you've mastered the basic recipe, the sky's the limit, isn't it, really?
It is. And next time we can do an advanced one where I can show you all the different techniques and things that we do. But I want you to master this first, because so many people say to me, Danae, I made them and they failed. Get this correct. So it just holds a form, and then you pack them in. Once you've got this mastered, then we can really take you to the next level in making bath bombs.
Yeah. And that depends a bit on the humidity on the day, doesn't it? There's a few variables with that, but once you work out what that feels like, then you're all good.
Absolutely, Jeremy. So it does. So say, for example, if it's really hot, like when we're making in carafa, they dry out really quickly before you're packing. So that's why I want you to get your trays ready so that you don't make it and then you let them dry out, because then they will crumble. The other thing happens if it's very humid, like you girls, Amanda and Nicole up in Queensland, if it's too humid, they've got a lot more moisture in there. So they need to be slightly drier.
Good advice. Danae, thank you so much for that. And yeah, we'll have to book you in for advanced bath bombs.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. I'll be more organised. We've only just moved. So I was like, where is everything? So, but I'm so glad to be able to do this tonight. Happy bath bombing. Please reach out if you need any advice on anything. But thank you for sharing Monday night with us.
Sounds awesome. And for everyone who's out there, we will see you again next Monday night. There's always something happening. We look forward to catching up. Kim will be back. And we'll see you again soon.
Bye.